Hello everyone, in this tutorial I will be showing you all how I created this flyer. Let's get started. First thing first, make sure you download the Canva app. That's Canva, and here's what the icon looks like. Once you have downloaded the app, click on the app. Once you are in the app, you want to click on Instagram post because that's what we'll be creating. Then you want to click blank post. The blank post is now open, and next we are going to select a background. Here I'm just going to select the X and I'm going to select my own background. Once I'm on the blank document, I'm going to start off by hitting replace. Once I select replace, I'm going to click upload. Once I hit upload media, I'm going to hit photo library. My photo gallery will now be uploaded, as you can see. Next, I'm going to go to an album that I created specifically for my brand. You guys, so when you look at these textures that I have saved in this album, what I did was I saved all of these backgrounds from Google. My color scheme is silver, so when I create flyers, I want to stick to that color scheme. And what I did was I go on Google, add the photos, save these backgrounds in an album for branding, and I just upload them when I am ready to create flyers. Once I have selected the background I want, I am then going to hit add. After I hit add, I'm going to tap on the photo that I just uploaded. Once I do that, boom, I now have my silver background. Next, I'm going to add text. I'm going to hit the plus sign at the very bottom. Once I hit that plus sign, I'm then going to select text. Next, I'll select the add a subheading on the second row, doesn't matter which one. Once I do that, I am now going to type in my text. For this flyer, we're just going to type in be a boss. From here, I am going to adjust the text to my liking. Next, I'm going to change the font. So I'm going to click where it says Open Sans or Sans, and then I'm going to choose the font that I like. One thing I want to add, you guys, I am not using Canva Pro. I am using the free version. So that's why you saw that message. Anything you see that has a crown beside it, that is in the Canva Pro version. I wanted to show you all how to design a flyer on the free version. Once I have found a text that I like, I am then going to adjust the size of the font. So right here, you can slide the slider, the little circle, left to right, or you can type in your font as well. I like to slide it left and right, but it's all about your preference. I am now going to make sure my text is nice and centered. You will see these dotted lines and squares. They help you center all of your text. Once my text is centered, I am then going to duplicate this text. The duplicate button is right here to the far left. I'll click that. Then I will drag my duplicated text down. I like to duplicate text, you guys, just so I don't have to click the bottom arrow, the bottom plus sign, and then go back to text. Sometimes it's just easier for me to click duplicate. Another thing is if you're using the same text, like if you're using the same font, it's so much easier just to hit those two squares to the far left. It will save you time. Next, I'm going to change my duplicate text to Learn Today. Once I change it to Learn Today, I am then going to change the font to something of my liking. I'm also going to come back and adjust all of this text, which you will see later in the tutorial. Once I have typed Learn Today out, I'm then going to hit Alta. And then I will search for a font that I like. Now, typically, I use the same fonts for my flyers. I have a specific look that I'm going for. So a lot of the times, my fonts are just saved in one place. But here, I just want to show you all what you can type in. Once you get familiar with the fonts, you will know the names by heart. Now, one thing I want to show right here, corporate. They have like a category called corporate. So these fonts are good for like corporate type of flyers. And that's one unique thing I like about the new version of Canva. So after looking through the different fonts, I'm just going to type in a font I'm familiar with. So I will just scroll to Blinker, and I am going to type in the search bar. I'm going to type in Anton. I use this font a lot, and I also use Antonio. So I'm going to select Antonio Light. I am then going to do a quick overview of my text. I want to separate Learn and Today, so I will just Put the cursor in between the two and just hit space. Next, I am going to scroll over and I'm going to change the color of the text. Now here, as you can see, you guys, there is a section for your brand colors. So you can set your brand colors in this section towards the bottom. Now I'm just going to go through different colors, see what looks good on this background. You always want to make sure whatever color text you choose, you want it to be easy on the eye, you want it to be readable. I decided to stick with the dark gray because it looks really good on this background. So here I am once again, just making sure everything is centered. And next, what I will do is go to the element section. The element section has a variety of things. So what you're going to do is click the plus sign again and then select the word elements. There are a variety of things underneath elements, which I will show you all. At the very top, you have your recently used. You'll see lines, you'll see shapes, you'll see frames, you'll see stickers, which are motion stickers, charts, grids. It's a lot of stuff that you can use. What I'm going to select is shapes because I'm looking for a specific shape. I'll select see all. After I hit see all, I'm going to go to the search bar and I'm going to type in rectangle shape. After I type that in, I'm then going to select where it says rectangle shape. I'll click that one and I'm going to select the very first one because that's what I'm looking for, just a plain rectangle. I have also used this rectangle before in other posts and I like it because it has a nice shadow on the background. I am now going to adjust the text and the rectangle on my flyer. I want the rectangle at the very top and I want Be a Boss to be on top of it. As you can see, it's not on top. So guess what I do? I hit the duplicate button once again and now I'm able to put Be a Boss on top of the rectangle. I will now adjust it to the size I want it to be, and I'm going to also change the rectangle to a different color. I want it to match my color scheme. Lastly, I'm going to go ahead and delete that first Be a Boss. Next, I'm going to scroll back over to the font color and I want to change the color of Be a Boss. The white looks really good on this gray, so for right now, I'm going to keep it. And next, I want to focus on resizing the rectangle. As you can see, all I'm doing is pulling the size to resize that rectangle. And I'm going to make sure it's centered. Make sure Be a Boss is centered. Like I said, pay attention to those dotted lines. They will help be your guide to make sure everything is centered. Here I am still adjusting everything, making sure everything is lined up correctly, centered correctly. And the next thing I want to do, I'm going to click the plus sign and I'm going to go back to upload media and I'm going to go to my photo library, but I'm going to go to a new album called Cutouts. Once I click on the album Cutouts, I am then going to select the cutouts I want to upload to basically my upload section. So I'm just going to select this image, one wig, and another image of myself. I'm actually going to choose all three of the images of myself and they're going to be saved in my upload media. Now, once I am here, I'm going to select the wig and then I'm going to go back and select myself. Before we go any further, for those of you who are wondering, how did she get those cutouts? I use a separate app called PixArt to get my cutouts. Now, you can use Canva Pro to remove the background from images. Once again, I am showing you how to create a flyer on the free version. So if you want to have access to everything within Canva, download the Pro version or purchase the Pro version. Here, I'm just going to switch up the title a little bit. So instead of Be a Boss, I want to change it to Be a Wig Boss. I will then resize the Be a Wig Boss text. Next, I will resize Learn Today, and I'm just going to play around with my text, just making sure everything is on the flyer how I want it to be. Here, I'm going to change the rectangle to a dark gray, which looks really good with this white text. I'll then click the plus sign, click uploads, and I'm going to click a picture of myself this time. I'm going to play around with this cutout of myself, see where I like it. You are going to see me change the position of the cutout of myself several times. Next, I'm going to scroll all the way to the end and I'm going to click transparency. As you can see, I can change the transparency of this photo by moving the circle up and down. Once again, I am just playing around with the cutouts, seeing what looks good where. Now, when you're creating a flyer, you want to make sure things are in a certain position. Like I mentioned before, you want everything to be appealing to the eye. After playing around with both cutouts, I felt like one was good alone, so I deleted the one with the wig. I take the cutout of myself and I just reposition it to a different area on the flyer. And after this, next, we are going to hit the plus sign and we're going to go back to elements. Once we go to elements, we are going to go to stickers. Once we scroll down to stickers, we'll select it and you are going to see a variety of animations. Basically, as you can see, a variety of motion graphics. I'm going to scroll back up to the top. Once I get to the top, in the search bar, I'm going to type in underline because that's what I'm looking for. And then I'll click line stickers because it was close to what I'm looking for. Once I hit done, all of these different motion graphics pop up. As you can see, it's so many different things you can choose from. I'm just going to go back up to the top and I'm going to select these two doubled lines. After that, I will then position the doubled lines where I want them to be on the flyer. I'm going to shrink them and I want the lines to go under today. I just want to see what it looks like. I then say, hey, I want to go back to stickers. So what do? I click the plus sign, click elements, scroll down to stickers. And since this is a flyer about learning, I want to have a motion graphic that's something about thinking. So I'm going to type in think stickers. Once I type in think, I'll hit done. And here are the different graphics. I already know which one I want to choose. I'm going to choose this white one. I'm going to readjust the size of it and figure out exactly where I want it on the flyer. Now, I no longer want these underlines. The two lines, I did not like the way they looked, so I deleted those. And I'm just going to stick with the cutout of me and this think symbol with the person. I will then adjust everything on my flyer. I'm going to move the think symbol around, and I'm also going to adjust learn today. Once I get those two things in the position that I want, I'm going to just make sure everything is aligned and continue on. Again, I'm going to reposition the cutout of myself. I want to make sure everything is in a certain place on this flyer. So I like to play around with the different cutouts that I have on any graphic or text. Just make sure everything is in a certain spot and everything is appealing to the eye. I'm still moving everything around, getting it in the right position. Once I get everything in the perfect spot, I'm then going to click the plus sign. I'm going to go back to elements, but this time I'm going to go to frames. I'll click out of the think stickers and I accidentally hit shapes. So I'll just click out of shapes and then I'll just go back to frames. Once I am in frames, I am looking for a square. Now I want to show you guys something. All of these frames, you can insert images on them. This frame that I selected, you see how it has a little rip in it? I want you to pay attention to this. Even though it's a square, if I change the color, which I'll hit replace, and once I hit replace, it's going to take me back to my upload media. I'm just going to select the silver, the very first silver background that I see. Now you see how that looks. That's not what I was looking for. So I'll go back to frames and I'm going to scroll down until I find a regular square. And there I found one. No rips or anything. So what do? I will select replace and it will take me right back to upload media. I'll select that same background and there I have it. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe I want to change the color to white or gray, but then I go back to the silver. I'm okay with how the silver looks for now. I'm then going to go back to the cutout of myself and I'm going to change the transparency of this photo. Not going to make it too light, not going to make it too dark, but just right. Once again, I'll click the plus sign, but this time I want to add some more text. I'll click the second add a subheading, and here I'm going to type February 2nd. After I type February 2nd, I'm then going to type only $25. And as you will see, I'm going to duplicate the February 2nd. And I'll then change it to only $25. Next, I'm going to change the text for February 2nd. I like the alta text. I'm going to try that first for both. And later, you will see me change the text again. But it's all about how I want the flyer to look, how I want it to flow. What I want to do next, I want to go back to the font color, and I want to see what color looks good against this silver. Right now I have black. So I'm just trying out the different colors, making sure it pops, making sure it's readable. From here, I'm just going to adjust the text, the sizing of the text. I'm also going to add the word only in front of $25, and I'm just going to make sure everything is the right size. Once I'm comfortable with the sizing of the text, I'm then going to change the silver to a different color. I am also going to play around with the color of the font. After selecting a font color that I like, I then decided that I want to go back and change the background. So what do? I go to upload media, and then I am going to go to photo library. I'm going to go back to that branding album, and I'm going to select another background. As you keep watching, you are going to see an error message. This error message is just letting me know that one of the photos was not in the proper format, and that happens with Google Photos. Next, I'm going to take the time out to switch out these backgrounds to see which one I prefer. I am then going to change out the font. Once I do that, I am also going to adjust the Learn Today. I want to change Learn Today to the same font as Be a Wig Boss. I just like the overall look of it. I then decided to go back to the square. I didn't really want a silver background on another silver background, so I said, hey, let me just change the color. So here you see, not only did I change the color of the square, but also the font color. I decided I wanted to stick with the dark gray to keep my color scheme all in unison. And then I said, hey, let me also change the font. And you guys, it's so many different fonts to choose from. But like I stated earlier, anything you see with a yellow crown, that is only available in Canva Pro. So if you want access to all of these fonts, you can pay for Canva Pro. Again, I'm showing you all how to create a flyer on the free version. I decided that I wanted to use a cursive font for only. So what I did was type in Brit for Brittany. I use this font a lot, and it's one of my go-tos. I'm just adjusting the text to my liking. I don't want only in all caps, so I'm just going to keep the O capitalized and have the rest of the letters lowercase. Next, all I'm going to do, I'm going to adjust everything on the flyer to my liking from February 2nd, only $25. I'm also going to change February 2nd to Alta, the same exact text as Learn Today and Be a Wig Boss, just trying to make everything appealing to the eye. I am now going to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to duplicate Be a Wig Boss, and I'm going to change it just to the word wig. I want wig in a different font. I'm actually going to put wig in the same font as only, which is Brittany. Once I get it all set, I'm then going to adjust Be a Wig Boss, and I'm going to place the wig that's in cursive between A and Boss. To make it easier on myself, I'm just going to remove the end part and I'm going to put wig right beside BA, and then I'm going to duplicate BA and change it to boss. Here is where I'm going to duplicate BA, put it on the opposite end, and change it to boss. Next, I'm going to start off by adjusting the rectangle. I want to make sure it's big so that BA wig boss can fit. After that, I'm going to adjust everything, make sure it's lined up, make sure it's positioned correctly, make sure everything is on one accord. I also want wig to stand out, so I'm just going to make it slightly bigger than boss and BA. And I'm just going to make sure everything is lined up properly. Next, I'm going to change the color of wig to a gray color. I also want only to pop out, so guess what? I'm going to select only $25 and change it to white. Once everything is positioned correctly and everything is to my liking, I'm then going to move on to adding a border. I'm going to click the plus sign, I'm going to go back to elements, and then I'll go to shapes. Now, when you're in shape, sometimes it can get kind of tricky with the borders. So as you can see, you can't tell what you're going to get. So I am going back to elements, I'm going back to shapes, and I'm clicking on every square that I see. Now I did demonstrate, I did type in border, and it's not showing the type of border I want. So I'm going to go back to shapes. And I'm going to go back in shapes. I don't know why I clicked that by accident, but I'm going to go back in shapes and I'm going to click each square until I get the border that I want. After clicking through numerous squares, I finally found the border that I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do with this border, I'm going to shrink it to the same size as the gray square. I'm also going to change the color of the border once I have it set. And once it's fit to my liking, I'm then going to click the color block and I'm going to change the color to dark gray. Now I'm just adjusting only, making sure it's the size that I want. And I decided that I wanted a bigger border around the entire flyer. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to select that border I just created and I'm going to stretch it out on the entire flyer. All you have to do is just pull the sides. You pull the little rectangles and just slide them down. Once I have the border all set, I'm just going to take a look at my flyer and see if there's anything else I want to adjust. There are a few things I want to adjust, so I am going to lift the bottom of the outer border up, and I'm going to adjust the smaller square. I want to make it smaller actually, and I want to move it up. First, I move the smaller border out the way. I'm going to shrink the gray square. And then I'm just going to reposition the text that goes inside of it. And I'm also going to reposition the think symbol. I'll select the outer border again, make sure it's out of my way, and then I'll go ahead and shrink the think symbol. Next, I'll select the smaller border and I'm going to put it right back on top of the gray square. After that's done, I'm going to drag the outer border down, look at the flyer, and see if everything is to my liking. Since I do see some things I want to change, I'll just drag the outer border back up. I'm going to adjust Learn Today. Once it's adjusted, I'm just going to drag the outer border back down and look at my flyer again. We are now at the end, you guys. So I like the overall look of my flyer, but I decided that I wanted to add some animation. So I will just drag that outer border up and I'm going to select the silver background. That's the only way I'll be able to animate this flyer, making sure I select the original background. And keep in mind, if you don't have a border at all, you won't have to worry about dragging this border up and down. I want to show you all how I added a border. I don't always add borders to my flyers. Once that is highlighted, I'll slide over to animate and I'm just going to click on the different options. So as you can see, there's block, fade, pan, rise, and tumble. Now, tumble is what I'm going to use for this flyer. Anything with the yellow crown, like I mentioned before, you'll have to purchase Canva Pro. After you have selected the animation that you want, you can replay it by clicking the play button at the top right corner. If I'm satisfied with what I see, I'm then going to hit the download button to save this flyer. Once I hit that save download button, it is then going to give me different options. But of course, since this is animated, I want to download it as an MP4 video, and it's going to say suggested. Once it is downloading, it's going to say preparing your design. Once it is complete, it's going to take you to another screen where you can send your design to Instagram, email, messages, and then it will say your design has been saved. I do want to show you all as well. If you select this option that the arrow is pointing at, it's going to give you all of these options as well. So you can scroll down and it has like different apps. It has different things you can do with your flyer or your work. Feel free to check it out. You can also select save as here to download your video. And it will give you the same options as before. And here's my final flyer after it's been saved. One thing I did notice is the shadow on the rectangle is really dark after I saved it, which is something I actually didn't mind. It turned out great. This now concludes How to Canva Like a Pro. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. Remember to watch it over and over again and practice, practice, practice. Thank you for watching.